How you all doing? Good. I'm excited to be here. My name is Sherman Armstrong. Before I get started, I want to give you a brief background information on myself. And understand, we've covered the most important dimension and aspect of today, and that's spiritual health, right? Today's about, right, the academic health. And I want to slide over and speak on physical health, right? Because I believe all those dimensions are important to create a successful student. But my background, I was a three-sport athlete in high school: football, basketball, track. I got a scholarship to the University of Illinois to run track. I was a 9-time Big Ten champion, 4-time All-American, Big Ten Athlete of the Year my junior year of college. That led to a pro career. I made 2 Olympic trial finals in the 400 hurdles. And when I retired from the sport of track and field, I began to coach student athletes. And that led to me being the former associate strength and conditioning coach and the head speed coach for the University of Georgia football program. I held that title for 3 seasons. And when I left the University of Georgia, I came back with the firm understanding that it's not about how fast you are, how far you can throw, but instead it's about the mentality. So even though I'm a highly qualified strength and conditioning coach, speed coach, the number one priority is building between the ears. So this conversation that I want to have with you all this morning is about how do we prepare our children for life? How do we prepare them? And I want to speak within the world of understanding that it's important that they are resilient. And it's not about removing obstacles and barriers, right? We got to decide what barriers and obstacles are healthy barriers and obstacles for them to navigate so they understand how to navigate the rough terrain of life. We want them to learn about hardships. How do we prepare our child? We want them to aim for character. We want them to have a more forward way of thinking. So we don't prepare the path for our children. We prepare our children for the path. So in that, it's important to know that hard things are important. Duke's basketball coach is quoted as saying, "We have to make our kids the type of people that can handle hard stuff better." And the reality is, as you all know, life is extremely difficult, it's tough, and it's hard. But if we haven't helped our kids by letting them understand how to overcome those obstacles and those barriers and those hardships, then they don't have the muscle memory to handle life when it comes in front of them in the form of a hardship. So hard things are important. And I want to speak on the foundation of a prepared child. And again, this conversation has everything to do with the physical health, right? Not just in a sports realm, but physically, what am I doing to prepare my body for life? And it's broken down in this acronym: learn, improve, forward, or failing forward, and then excel. So I want to speak to you all with regards to each of these letters. Learn, that is the L in life. And we want to learn, or we want to teach the life lessons and let our kids understand that life is a learning process. And there are many life lessons that come through life. If you don't get the outcome that you desire, maybe the life lesson is, I need to eat better. I need to sleep earlier. I need to work harder. I need to ask a question from my teachers or my coach. There are life lessons, and we want our kids to learn those life lessons. And anytime they are going through struggle, there's a life lesson in that. And the lesson could be, hey, I just need to be more prepared. So life lessons teaches it's important to listen and follow direction. It teaches, number 2, the importance of respecting authority and encouraging teammates. So it's not just about me, but instead it's now about we. Thirdly, it's about working towards goals. And then finally, discipline, leadership, and responsibility, and understanding what leadership looks like. And it's not about being the best player, but there are different ways one can lead. So it's important that we learn. So children don't just simply learn how to throw a ball or run fast. Instead, they learn how to operate in this rough world. L. That brings me to I, and that is progress beats perfection. Just yesterday, I was called out to have a conversation with the team. And the major struggle their coach said that they were having was they didn't understand or embrace the process. For them, it was all about where I'm at and where I'm trying to go, but they were overlooking the process, right? The process of every practice, every workout, every rep, the process of showing up. But we understand as adults that the process isn't pretty and the process is tough, and the process has everything to do with where you start and where you want to go. It's the stuff in between. It's the sacrifice. It's getting out of your comfort zone. It's asking the right questions. It's being embarrassed. It's stepping up. It's having the moral courage. That is the process. So as I communicated with these young men and young women, they came away understanding that the journey to getting where you want to be is the most important and the critical pieces that will lead you to be where you expect to be, where you want to be. So process is important, but very few of us celebrate the process. They came away understanding process is important. Athletics and pursuing physical health is a process. So that brings me to the F, and that means failing forward. Failure is a critical component. It is the key piece, the key ingredient to success. And when I think of failing forward, I think about my story as an athlete. Sure, I'm a 9-time Big Ten champion. True. 4-time All-American. Facts. 2-time Olympic trial finalist. Yep. But when I first started my sport of track and field, I remember as a freshman in high school falling down over and over and over again. We didn't have YouTube, we didn't have Instagram, so I couldn't just figure it out through that. Instead, it was trial and error. So I fell down, but I encouraged myself and I fell forward. So we encourage athletes to fall forward. Therefore, get out of your comfort zone, join a team, be part of something special. And I fell down and I kept getting back up over and over again. I learned to bounce back. I learned to be resilient. And then my sophomore year showed up and I fell down some more, but not as much as my freshman year. My teammates, they still had their doubts. My competition, they laughed at me. Then my junior year showed up. No one was laughing. Won the state title in the 300 hurdles, scholarship to the University of Illinois, Olympian. The rest is history. And it had everything to do with me putting myself in a position to where I would be challenged without support, and I was able to fail forward time and time again. I was resilient, I had the right mentality, and I was courageous. And that led to success. It's the gift that athletics gives you. And it's the gift that we want to give to your kids as they etch out, as they make sure that they make fitness a priority, not just now, but as a healthy habit that they will carry on through adulthood. Fail forward. Then that brings me to the importance of excel, right? And we want to make excellence a habit. And when I'm called out to schools, small groups, and organizations to have these conversations, the question that I often ask them is this: raise your hands if you could be giving more effort academically and athletically than you're currently giving. And what happens is hands go up across the room, right? So the question then is, in the midst of all the goals, everything that you want to accomplish, everything that you want your team to do and to be, Why have you decided to give your teachers and your coaches 70% when 100 is required? Why have you decided to give them 80%, 90%, yet 100 is required? It's important to give your best at all times. It is a habit, and we want to make excellence a habit. It is just muscle memory. It is their programming. It is the default setting that will carry them through life, making excellence a habit. And it oozes into the academic world, which bleeds into their career, into their marriages, into parenting, and then into leadership. Therefore, not guaranteeing success, but it leads them on that path to have the potential for success, because success is never guaranteed. But the guarantee is, if you don't work or position yourself to be worthy of excellence, then it will never happen. Excellence, it isn't about being the most talented. It's about consistently giving your best time and time again. It's about being special, separating yourself from everyone else based off of what you do and how you do. Sports didn't just change what I did, it changed who I became. So the foundation for a child is all about learning, improving, failing forward, and excelling. Not every child is going to be an Olympian. Not every child is going to be a Division I athlete or get a scholarship. But every child must, not will, every child must become more confident, more disciplined, resilient, healthier, and better prepared for life. So with that V.A.S.T sports performance, we have a program to help athletes, to help those that are trying to find a way and carve out a path to help them be successful in athletics. Is the ultimate classroom for life, as it helps them understand and develop an awareness of what it looks like and what it feels like to work through the journey in the process to achieving a high level of success, and taking those lessons athletically learned, falling down and getting back up again, developing the muscle memory to overcome those mountains that stand in their way. We are a program positioned to help them in every way, athletically, physically, mentally, and we also want to help them spiritually. So if you're interested in what we deliver, our QR code is here. And we have a multitude of programs, such as our track program, our mental training program, where we help athletes secure scholarships athletically, right? As well as our strength club and our summer camps and speed camps. I encourage you to get connected, and we're excited about a potential partnership with Lisa and her organization. Thank you all.